Hey folks, it's Ardwulf. Welcome. We have an unboxing today, and it is La Bataille de Quatre from Clash of Arms Games. This is the second edition of Quatre that has been done in the La Bataille series, and don't ask me what the differences are between this and the first one. It's got a 2004 date on it, but it does say second edition. This was available direct from Clash of Arms until relatively recently, but it appears to be out of stock there now. I got this from CLS Games in Atlanta, who had it for what appeared to be about retail, and they shipped very quickly, like very quickly. So happy deal on that. So this is in the pretty standard for a long time Clash of Arms 1-inch flat box. This is exactly the same size as their other flat box games that I've got, such as The Emperor Returns. This is part of the Kevin Zucker series, where this is part of the La Bataille series. And of course, Battle of Quatre is June 16th, 1815, a day or two days before the big battle at Waterloo between Marshal Ney and Wellington's, elements at least, of Wellington's army. So let's check this out, looking at the back. Looks like we got a map, a rulebook, charts and game aids, 560 counters, which is 2 full counter sheets, 280 black and white generic markers, which is 1 full counter sheet, 2 army organizational displays, and 2 dice. So let us dither no further and open her up and see what's inside. Now, this has been pitched to me as an ideal first game to experience the La Bataille series, and right away you notice it's in the pretty nice matte finish box that we see from a lot of Clash of Arms stuff, but it's not the linen finish from the later stuff. It's also not an incredibly sturdy box. Frankly, these flat boxes don't store well anyway, unless you're real careful with them. So let's pull everything out and see what we get. So the first thing we have is the game rules, La Bataille de Quatre, which I'm probably not mangling too badly. It is a quite thick rule book. It says 48 pages. Looks like the scenarios are in here too, however. Now, I thought I had heard that this was a simplified set of rules, and maybe that's true. Not saying it isn't. But it's going to be a little difficult for me to tell at a glance now that I am just, as of this filming, really just starting to explore the system here. There's some highlighted stuff. So we have a sort of a satin finish paper. Again, 48 pages, minimal illustrations. Those illustrations that are here are in black and white, but I'm pretty much okay with that. Typeface, I would say, is a bit on the small side. So there are, by my reckoning, 4 different currently supported sets of La Bataille rules. There's the Reglement of the year 30, which is the sort of heavyweight rule set. There's the Marie-Louise rules, which is the sort of lightweight rule set, but that's the rule set I've been looking at, and it's not that light. We'll manage, but it's not that light. There's also the Premier rule set, which is the set currently supported by Marshall Enterprises, which is the other company publishing La Bataille games. They have another one coming out late this year. And in fact, by the time you see this, it might even already be out. And there's the 5th edition, which is the set that came in La Bataille de Mont Saint-Jean. Now, there's a bit of a ding here, but, it's been sitting in a warehouse for a while, so I don't think I can really complain too much. We have one map, which I believe to be a standard size map, which we'll take a look at in a moment. We have some counter sheets. We have a terrain key. Now, these are black and white, but both of these are on a fairly nice parchment-esque paper. Fire defense, square realization, terrain key. We have these army organizational displays, which we're going to take a separate look at on their own. We have a stacking chart. We have another fire effects table, and we have this thing, whatever that is. Here's another counter sheet. I think we'll agree that the counters are attractive, but one of the idiosyncrasies of the La Bataille system is that vital information like the fire factors and stuff like that are on the backs of the counters, which is not a thing I am a huge fan of. I have decided that in the name of experiencing this game system, I will just deal with it. Here's another army display. Again, we'll look at that separately. Here is what looks to be a display tracking time. I believe we have 20-minute turns in this system. Back of that should be blank. It is. Here's the combat à la feu, the fire combat table, and here's the assaut et melee table, which is the melee combat table. And then here is the third counter sheet, which is the relatively ornamented marker sheet. Now we get 2 dice. These appear to be absolutely bog standard Chessex dice, as seems to be the case with Clash of Arms. There's a postcard game in the box. This is probably from Turning Point Simulations. Indeed it is. And it is Fateful Days, the Marne, campaign of 1914. So that's kind of neat, and a little flyer for Turning Point Simulations. What the relationship is there that results in Turning Point Simulation stuff getting put in the Clash of Arms boxes, I don't know. Be very interested. Now the counters are on a pretty thick brown core stock. I'm not going to have any trouble getting them in the clipper. I will tell you, because as of this filming, I am clipping and organizing the more than twice as big La Bataille de Mont Saint-Jean. These are a bear to organize. What I think I will end up doing is taking these organizational cards, these army organizational cards, and each game that I have contains one for each army. So there's actually 3 of them in Mont Saint-Jean, one for the Anglo-Allied army, one for the Prussian army, and one for the French. And then I'm going to organize them based on what I see here, because as you can see, this formation has what looks to me to be 4 different configurations in terms of counter color. So I think that's the way these things are going to get organized. I think that makes the most sense. And I'm not sure whether it's going to be by core or division yet. Might be core, might be division. Kind of inclined to do it by division. I would like to get all of the stuff in the box, so we're definitely going to go with a baggy solution for both this and a Mont Saint-Jean. And these are very colorful. They're on a pretty thin but pretty attractive, again, sort of linen finished paper. So we got this one for the Anglo-Allied army, and we got this one for the French Army of the North. It's not the whole Army of the North. It's those parts of the Army of the North that were assigned to Ney at this particular time. And we've got first corps and second corps. So we've got basically 2 corps plus some corps assets, including reserve cavalry and some old guard like cavalry, actually. So that's interesting. And again, we'll figure something out for how we're going to organize that based on these army organization charts. Now, here's another flyer for La Bataille de Ligny. This is, of course, another of the 4 battles that we typically consider to be part of the Waterloo campaign. And this came out afterwards, and I believe Ligny is still available from Clash of Arms. Then here's here's the second edition of Mont Saint-Jean, which just came out relatively recently. You will have seen the unboxing of it before you see the unboxing of Quatre. So let's bust out the map and see what the map looks like. So here is the one full-sized, standard wargame-sized map. And as usual for Clash of Arms, it's on a pretty heavy sort of linen finished paper. It's very nice, but it also doesn't lay particularly flat. Definitely you're going to need to put some plexi over this, but I personally have never seen Labatt played without plexi. So, and I've seen Labatt played a fair amount of times. I just have never personally played it. Now, I believe the map art here, credits, are that the cartography was done by the late legendary Rick Barber, and the map box and counter artwork, so the final map art, was done by Terry Leeds, who's done a number of other extremely attractive looking maps, including for Liberty or Death, among other things. So Terry Leeds can do all the maps he wants as far as I'm concerned, and in this case it's a collaboration between him and the legendary Rick Barber. So there are scenarios in here too, so picking up in the rule book, the 48-page rule book has 41 and a little pages of rule. I don't know, exactly 41 pages of rules. So it's mostly rules. And we've got a bunch of historical commentary here. You can download a lot of the materials for La Bataille games, by the way, off of a site linked off the La Bataille rules webpage on Clash of Arms' website. I think it's linked. If not, if you do a Google search for La Bataille rules and spell it correctly, then you will get the correct site. But there's two of them, confusingly enough, and entirely in character for La Bataille. There's a La Bataille rules page for the Clash of Arms games, and there's a La Bataille rules page for the Martial Enterprises games, and they're not the same. They're not on the same page or the same domain or anything like that. So that is 100% typical Labatt goodness right there. So turning back to the scenarios, though, we go to page 38. We have 22.1 La Bataille de Quatre Bras, which looks like there's only actually one scenario here. So it's pretty much the whole battle. So it's not a small battle exactly. If you're concerned about playtime, I feel like this could be played by itself in a relatively short amount of time. But, you know, all things are relative too. So it still might take you a long weekend and a big chunk of time to do it. It's my understanding that the fastest playing set of La Bataille rules are the Marie-Louise rules. So the rules in here that are included with La Bataille de Quatre Bras 2nd edition appear to be a completely separate set of introductory La Bataille rules that are based on the regulations of the year 22, which is not the current version of the regs rules. So, you know, once again, we're completely in character for La Bataille and its extremely muddled rules system. I'd like to know, and I think we're going to work towards figuring this out, whether really dedicated La Bataille players do actually move from game system to game system, rule set to rule set, or whether they just pick one and stick with that. I suspect that the option is the former based on my observations, but I could be wrong. So this has been a brief overview and unboxing of La Bataille de Quatre Bras 2nd edition, 2004 release from Clash of Arms. It's a very pretty game, if nothing else. And this will, in all likelihood, be the platform for my experimentation with the La Bataille rules sets, whatever I end up landing on. Now, if I really love it and decide that I'm going to stick with it, I may end up going to the regs as my preferential rule set, but, you know, that creates problems as we've discussed in the past. Hopefully you found the video entertaining or useful. If so, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to the channel. I'd like to give a special shout out to the patrons of Ardwulf's Lair, without whose assistance and support it would be much more difficult to do any of the types of content that we do here at Ardwulf's Lair. So thank you, patron. Once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, happy wargaming.